Some will come around eventually. Some will come around when it's way too late. You just have to make sure you've got a lifeboat for somebody else. Stay ahead of the curve. What I am talking to you about with Israel is ahead of the curve, and I know that. It is not popular. I've had every single advisor on planet Earth telling me not to do this event, not to talk about it. I can't get anybody involved. Nobody will understand it. Everyone will be angry about it. Whatever. What's new? If you stay ahead of the curve, you're going to be mocked and maybe even attacked. That video could be you being yelled at, not John Hagee, and told your tithe is killing babies. That's why it's critical to prepare mentally, to be the strongest person you can be. Know what you believe. Get the crap out of your life, and most importantly, have the courage to stand. Like these brave men and women did in the 1950s. I love this picture of him because I look at the faces of everybody involved and you can see the fear in their eyes. But they stood anyway because they knew they were right. You are going to see the types of protests that were happening at John Hagee's church, but we must become these people and stand locked in arms and without real fear, because we have each other, and with love in our hearts. There will be attempts to isolate more and more often. So when the guy from Hamas or the local community organizer in your area stands up and says something like this,
عدد محدود من السنين سيدرك الجميع من الصهاينة والمستوطنين أن مجيئهم إلى فلسطين كان للمذبحة الكبرى التي يريد الله بها أن يريح البشرية من شرهم.
You don't dismiss the warning signs. You wake up anybody who has eyes to hear, or eyes to see, and ears to hear, and a mouth willing to speak. Wake them up. Stand together. I told you yesterday that I'm going to do an event in Israel calling Restoring Courage. It was interesting to read my mail and to see the press react yesterday. The press really wanted to be mad at me. They're not exactly sure how to be mad at me yet. They'll come up with something sooner or later. They've got a storyline, don't worry. But I saw a couple of reports that said, Beck has nothing to teach Israel about courage. Are you that stupid? Gee, you think? Here's a country surrounded by people who have been trying to wipe them off the earth since their birth. Really, I'm going to teach them about courage. This event is not about restoring their courage. It's about restoring our courage. We have to stop making the news about other people, other lands, other parties, other people's problems. What role do we play? It is our personal courage that needs restoration. When someone stands up and says something you agree with at the PTA meeting, do you say something? If somebody's getting shouted down or bullied, don't sit there silently, stand with them. And don't wait until after the meeting to walk up to them and say, hey, thanks, I'm with you. Newsflash, you lack courage if you're whispering. It has been hammered home to us over and over again. We've been trained to not make waves, don't offend, and don't say anything politically incorrect for fear of an uncomfortable disagreement. Meanwhile, we are dismissing people who say they want to kill an entire race of people. When you deny that, that is fertile ground to be taken advantage of, and the rebels, the rebellion, the revolutionaries, they will take advantage. You must prepare in your friends and don't sit by silently. Always remember that Americans debate, Americans think, Americans love, Americans are compassionate, and Americans never sit it out. Israel doesn't need a lesson in courage. We do. This August, this journey to Israel for me is personal. It's not about celebrity or teaching anybody a lesson or sending a message to any earthly power. It is about sending a message to our Maker and letting Him hear our message as individuals. That this time I will stand and I will be counted. I will not cower as people have in the past. I will not stand by and watch a whole race of people called vermin, because I've read history. I know how it ended last time, and I know how it started. First, they came for the Jews, and I said nothing. let me declare to the entire world and ask who's with me. This time I will stand. This time I will say something. This time I will be a force for good. Okay, I've got a little pop quiz for you. Come here, wee little one. Have you made an announcement yet?
No. Well, yes.
You have? Come here. The wee little one, Erin, she's pregnant. The guy from the IMF. Just saying. Pop quiz. Arab Spring. Does it mean that A, Jeffersonian freedom lovers are out in the street, or B, a chance for radicals in the Middle East to seize power and institute a long-desired caliphate? Need a lifeline? Here it is.
إن شاء الله وستكون أرض فلسطين هي عاصمة الخلافة الإسلامية وتكون كل هذه الدول هي ولايات تابعة لدار الخلافة.
That's crazy talk. If you said A, ooh, sorry, as Alex Trebek likes to say, you were probably listening or reading one of these fine media outlets because they all said the same exact thing. The Muslim Brotherhood, the group or administration called largely secular, and nothing to be worried about, nothing to see here, people, is powerful now in Egypt and is taking full advantage of the Syrian uprisings. You know, the one that you're not hearing much about. They're playing a larger role now in seriously challenging the Assad regime, the only group to ever make serious gains against Assad. Our president now also wants to sit down. He wants to chat one-on-one with Iran. Yeah, we could talk some sense into those lunatics, huh? That sounds plausible, especially with the news that Iran is now building intermediate-range missile launch pads in Venezuela, using engineers from a firm owned by the Revolutionary Guard. The goal? Well, Iran, if they're hit with sanctions, they'll fire rockets at the enemy in response. Wonder who the enemy might be. Hint, the great Satan. Combine that Iran has already been trading missile technology in violations of UN sanctions with North Korea, and you got a nice mess, don't you? By the way, Reuters has just reported that prohibited ballistic missile-related items has been transferred on regular passenger flights. Oh, that makes me want to run down the aisle and scream Allah Akbar. How about you? Iran has been working to smooth over relations with Bahrain, where I think we have our, what is it, the 5th Fleet? And they're successfully doing it now with Turkey and Egypt. Meanwhile, after the bin Laden raid, Pakistan has distanced themselves from us and is moving towards Russia. Oh, golly, it's that Arab Spring in the air. Yeah, not this Arab Spring. No, not this Arab Spring. This Arab Spring is more like this Arab Spring, isn't it? It smells like dog pee. It does. This is the one that President Obama is now telling people that they should jump on and be a part of. Now, why? Why would someone say that? Especially someone who, the moment a group such as the Tea Party rises up and protests against his policies, tells them to shut up and sit down. I'd like to know the answer to that. President, I can't get him on the phone. Hey, I know. I could ask, who's that guy that the president always asks for wisdom and advice? You know, that guy who hosts that show on CNN. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fareed Zakaria. He's great. Of course, he's denied that after he said that. That's weird. Maybe he's just confused. Maybe he's too busy talking to his other good buddy, George Soros. Got to be proud of that. No, you do, Fareed. At least you're out in the open now. Back in a minute.